I still remember the feeling in my gut when I realized something wasn't right. It was the early 2000s. AOL was king. Our kids were just 4 and 6, old enough to babble about their days, young enough to trust that adults told the truth. But something didn't add up. My wife was a part-time employee who should have been home most days. But our kids kept talking about long stays with their grandparents, her parents, who lived 90 minutes away. Once a month? Sure. Twice a week? That smelled rotten. Every time I'd ask her about these visits, she looked me straight in the eye, but her eyes flinched just slightly. I'd see her lips quiver for half a second before she spat out, "I told you, I just want the kids to see their grandparents more." But my heart hammered in my chest. My palms sweated every time I thought about it. My mind wouldn't let me rest. One night, after she got home late yet again, I felt my rage ball up in my chest like a burning stone. I couldn't just stand by anymore. I decided to track her mileage. I started logging the car's odometer readings when she left and returned. Within a week, I realized she was putting in hundreds of extra miles, far beyond a simple visit to her parents. 400 unexplained miles each week. To be exact, the pit in my stomach grew deeper. Then came the moment that changed everything. I found a sticky note stuck to the computer monitor, the letters dancing before my eyes. Oh, password. It felt like the universe was offering me a lifeline. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. My hands shook as I typed it in. And there it was, emails between her and her college BFF, giggling about my wife's secret rendezvous with her high school ex-boyfriend. They joked about his wife's weight gain after kids, gossiped about their wild afternoons. My wife's words sliced through me like glass. "We meet every time I take the kids to mom and dad's. God, it's so easy." I felt like I was drowning in betrayal, but I wasn't going to sink. I printed those emails, each message proof of her lies, and stashed them where she'd never find them. But I knew I needed more. My kids deserve more. A friend of mine on the police force recommended an ex-cop turned private investigator, Ron. He had a reputation for being thorough. I met with him, laid out everything, the emails, my mileage logs, my suspicions. Ron's eyes gleamed with determination. A week later, he delivered a manila envelope thicker than a Bible. Inside, dozens of photographs with time stamps. My wife dropping the kids off at her parents', then meeting a man in an old sedan. Shots of them kissing outside seedy motels. Receipts, logs of their visits, time stamps of her arriving back home with our children. My knees nearly gave out reading it. But that wasn't the only surprise. Ron also found out everything about Bob, her affair partner, his real name, where he worked, a VP of sales at his father-in-law's company, his marriage, his 3 kids, even where he laid his head every night. The thought of him playing perfect husband at home while tearing my family apart made my blood boil. I sat in the dark one night, my kids asleep, staring at my reflection. Was I really going to do this? But then I remembered my childhood. My parents' cheating had shattered me and my siblings. I swore I'd never let my own kids suffer the same. That's when resolve replaced rage. I called my lawyer. The turning point. My lawyer drafted the divorce papers while Ron prepared 2 extra copies of his report. One for my lawyer, one for Bob's unsuspecting wife. On D-Day, we struck. That morning, I kissed my kids goodbye like any other day. At noon, my wife was served the divorce papers at her work, in front of her co-workers. The shock on her face, they told me later, was like something out of a soap opera. At the same time, Ron paid a visit to Bob's wife. He handed her the thick folder. She flipped through photo after photo of her husband with my wife, tears streaming down her face. But behind the tears, Ron said, was a cold fury, climactic revenge payoff. I found out later just how thoroughly Bob's life imploded. His wife emptied their joint account, took their 3 kids, and moved back with her parents. When her father, Bob's boss, discovered his son-in-law's betrayal, he fired him on the spot. The cherry on top? Her family owned the house Bob and his wife lived in. With one phone call, he was evicted, but it didn't end there. Bob tried to go back and confront his wife, but her brother stepped in. A fistfight broke out, ended with Bob's nose broken and a police report. From there it spiraled. Restraining orders, criminal charges, nights in jail. His once perfect life reduced to rubble. Meanwhile, Bob's wife picked herself up, took a job at her dad's company, and eventually ran herself when he retired. She built something better without him. Reflective wrap-up. As for me, the divorce moved forward quietly. My wife and I kept things civil for the kids. I never brought up the affair again. We only spoke about parenting, nothing else. And once my kids were grown, I cut off contact. I don't hate her, but I'll never forget. I know now that standing up for yourself, for your kids, isn't just about anger. It's about protecting their future. Sometimes justice looks like two broken hearts, but only one of them deserved it. Outro call to action. If you felt even a shred of satisfaction hearing this takedown, smash that like button and share your thoughts below. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories every week.